Hey guys, welcome back to the Rechalea podcast. So you guys know that for the past few weeks and months, well, really the past few months when I told you guys last month that I'm pregnant and I was home just incubating, growing this baby. I was really nauseous and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a few months off. And all the things that I've wanted to do in the past few years that I feel like I'm too busy to do, I thought, well, I'm going to do it now. So I had like 4 months where I was extremely nauseous. So I didn't have all the time in the world because I was vomiting and miserable. But also I had a lot of time to myself. And I wanted just to study. I wanted to read books and I wanted to study because there's something about being a Jew and just being alive, even if you're not Jewish, that is so mysterious. I don't know how people don't think about this all the time. Just like being alive is what am I doing here? And being a Jew, just this last Shabbos, I was reading through, I didn't go to shul because my legs were hurting and I was on the couch reading through the story of King David in the prophets, the book of prophets. And I keep being brought back to this point of like, what does it mean to be a Jew? What does it mean to be Jewish? I mean, even if, I've a lot of times, doubted if God existed or like doubted my Jewish. What does it mean to be Jewish? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Is God even real? Bad things happen to good people. The world is very confusing. But then like in real time, in real life, you kind of see the undeniability of God everywhere. The whole world is obsessed with the state of Israel. We Jews have been hunted down and thrown out of every country we've ever lived in, pretty much. There's just an obsession. Every other big world religion, Christianity and Islam, are really founded on Judaism. They don't stand without Judaism. Judaism, in my opinion, all roads lead to Judaism. So I was home and trying to figure out, what does it mean to be Jewish? What does it mean to be a Jew? What is the Torah? What is God? What is my life? I wanna know how to live. I also, that's basically what I was, thinking and trying to do. Also, I've told myself many times in my life, you have to live for Judaism because you're willing to die for it. So, meaning, I'm guessing all of us, just based on the Jewish history, we would all be willing to lay our lives down for Judaism, for God, for our Jewishness, to keep our Jewish faith. Meaning we would let someone kill us, right? I'm saying that based on what our ancestors have done for thousands of years. That's what our ancestors have done for thousands of years. They've laid down their lives to preserve their Judaism and to fight for their faith. And I'm guessing, God forbid, we should never, ever experience that, obviously. I'm just guessing we would do the same. And I always told myself, since I was like a teenager, Rechalea, if you're going to die for something, you better live for it too. Like there's no point in being that attached to something if you're not going to live for it. Like it just doesn't I don't like the nonsensicalness, the nonsense of it, that if you're going to die for something, you're only going to die for it. No, I should live for it. No one's trying to kill me for being Jewish, not here in America. That's happening, unfortunately, tragically in Israel, but I want to understand it. So like I said before, we're talking about Jewish beauty today because I'm really talking to Jewish women, but that's because I'm seeing this issue. Guys, I'm seeing this issue so much where there's something missing. There is an infiltration of secular ideas and messages that are taking over the Jewish female self, and it's not right and it's not okay, and we need to talk about it. But it's not really about beauty. It's about your Jewishness. And if you're not Jewish and you're watching this, it's about reality, truth. In Hebrew, we say emes. It's about emes, okay? Oh, touch my microphone, sorry. It's just about truth, okay? So even if you're not Jewish, even if you are Jewish, whoever you are, if you're Jewish, this is about who you are as a Jew. We have to live according, I keep talking about influencer Judaism, where we have this like Jewish identity, but it's stripped of its Jewishness completely. Like it is so popular right now to like, if you're in the Jewish community, to be pro-Israel and have this like be a proud Jew and wear a big Magen David, wear a chai on your neck, chai necklace. But like this, there's like a lack of actual Judaism, like Yiddishkeit. What does it mean? What is Judaism? I had this thought at the Oscars. I watched that movie called A Real Pain. I don't know if you guys watched it. I was so excited to watch it because I love meaningful Holocaust films. I really do. Like they really stir my soul. And it was just the biggest letdown to me because it was all about Jewish history and Jewish identity. These two cousins go to Eastern Europe to like discover what happened to their grandmother in the Holocaust, but there was no Jewishness in the movie. Absolutely nothing. And like the two cousins, like they're kind of proud to be Jewish, but that's it. Like there's just like, yeah, I'm Jewish. And there's no like, what is a Jew? What does it mean to be Jewish? There was none of that. And it made me depressed because it's a reflection of real life. I don't even blame the movie producers and the filmmakers, whatever, whoever made that film. It's a reflection of real life. There's like this separation between like being a Jew and Judaism, and they're the same thing. You can't be a Jew without Judaism because Jews only exist because the Torah was given to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. Okay, that's the only reason we're here. We were made a people at Mount Sinai. You cannot extract Judaism from Jewish identity. And I'm seeing that now, specifically on Instagram, on TikTok, on social media, where like there are these big Jewish personalities who are very Jewy, right? Like we love Israel and we're proud to be Jewish, but like there's no Jewishness, Jewish values, what Yiddishkeit, what makes us Jewish. When I was reading about King David, did I just mention that? My memory is like weird with this pregnancy thing happening. I think I mentioned before that I was reading the story of King David. I might have not, I don't know, on Shabbos two weeks ago. And it was just the most amazing thing to read about King David and God and how much God loved King David and how loyal King David, Hashem, creator of the universe, was to this man, David. Like God loved him. The same with Moses. I would say out of everyone, like David and Moses, God was just... He relished their existence. He was so loyal to them. When King David's son, Solomon, takes over, Solomon makes a lot of mistakes at the end of his life, and I didn't even know about them till last Shabbos. He started, worshiping. I don't know if he worshipped other gods. There's different commentaries, but he definitely created these sacrificial altars for foreign gods because he married so many different women and he turned away from God. And it was kind of shocking because this is like Shlomo HaMelech, right? King Solomon. But God kept saying, and then Solomon's son and Solomon's grandson and then his grandson's son and his grandson's grandson, like they keep messing up and they keep like distancing themselves from God. And the most amazing thing was like Hashem, the Navi kept saying, the text kept saying that God remembered that he was loyal to King David. Like despite all of the evil that King David's like grandsons and great-grandsons and great-great-grandsons were doing because of Solomon, because of Shlomo, David's son, because David's son sinned, right? Even though the commentaries say he didn't sin. But Shlomo HaMelech, David's son, because he made so many mistakes, all of his descendants made mistakes too, and bad things like corruption and idolatry. And it kept saying Hashem would never forget King David. And he made a promise to King David that David's line would always be on the throne, right? Mashiach is going to be from King David. And it's just amazing. Like, what a wondrous thing that Hashem like loved this person so much. Because I think King David, in my opinion, from the research I'm doing now and the learning that I'm doing, the studying, David was just like thoroughly Jewish, right? Like, yes, you can be genetically Jewish, but have absolutely no Yiddishkeit, Jewish values in your life. Like, what does God want? What does God care about? And then you live for those things. King David, like, embodied, personified, epitomized what it is to be a Yid, to be a Jew. Now, I want to connect this to beauty now, okay? So this article, I brought this up to you guys last week. It's called Why Women Who Dress Modestly Are Getting Cosmetic Surgery, okay? That's the name of the article. I'm going to put a picture of this on YouTube, wherever you guys are watching. If you're listening to this, there's an article in Forbes magazine called Why Women Who Dress Modestly Are Getting Cosmetic Surgery. That's the name of the article. It's in Forbes. Excuse me. We talked about this last week, but this concept that I'm trying to voice to the world, which is not easy. It's making me want to pull my hair out because it's hard to take concepts that are ginormous and gigantic and try to break it down into layman's words and to understand it myself. This line from this article, literally, it epitomizes the exact issue that I'm talking about, okay? So bear with me, just listen here. There's a line in the article that says, these Orthodox Jewish women express that their cosmetic surgery aligns with their religious priorities, which include the power and holiness of beauty. I'm going to read that one more time, okay? These Orthodox Jewish women express that their cosmetic surgery aligns with their religious priorities, which include the power and holiness of beauty. Meaning, This is the greatest distortion of Judaism, one of the greatest distortions of Judaism I've ever seen, and it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy because this is real women, real Orthodox, from Orthodox Jewish women are saying this, which means they don't understand Yiddishkeit. They don't understand Judaism. I'm not saying this in an arrogant way. They don't get it. They don't get it, what it is to be Jewish. Being a Jew, I want people to understand that being a Jew means you are a Torah Jew. The Torah is the only reason we're here. It's the only reason we were ever made into a nation. What this line is saying is that these Jewish women are saying, we get plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures done to our faces, to our bodies, because the Torah, Judaism, believes in the power and holiness of beauty. They're basically saying plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures are a Jewish value. Judaism believes in this. And that's not true. It's absolutely false. Secular cosmetic beauty, cosmetic procedure, plastic surgery beauty, and Jewish beauty are at war with each other almost completely. I would say completely, okay? They are at odds. They are opposites. The fact that there are from Jewish women, Orthodox Jewish women, who are telling Forbes magazine that they're getting their faces reconstructed or their bodies reconstructed because Judaism believes in the power and the holiness of beauty is shocking. It shocked me to my core, and it shocked me to my core specifically because I've been thinking about this. There's something wrong. There's something not right where you see these Jewish people who are so proud to be Jewish, but there's something that grates on you a little bit. There's something not Yiddish. There's something not Jewish about the way they're living, and there's a reason. This is false. This is 100% false. I was talking to my sister today. I'm learning Jewish history now a lot. I'm trying to. When Greece and then Rome later colonized Judea, they came into Judea, we Jews rose up so many times to kick them out. We know the Maccabees were fighting against the Greeks. We didn't want the Greeks in our land. Get out of our homeland. But it wasn't just that. By the way, with Rome too, this has a lot to do with Christianity and Jesus, and we're not going to go there. We're definitely not going there because I don't understand it completely, and it's a gigantic topic that we're going to get. We're not allowing that tangent in right now. The Maccabees and the other Jews that rose up against the Greeks and the Romans, they weren't just telling the Greeks and Romans, we don't want you in Judea. We don't want you colonizing our land. They were telling the Greeks and Romans, we don't want your culture. We don't want your culture. Get your culture out of our land. It's affecting our people. Get out. We don't want your society. We don't believe in the things you believe in. We don't value the things you value. Hellenism, the Hellenistic culture of the Greeks and the Romans were at odds with Judaism. They were opposites. And that's because, and we're going back to Mount Sinai now, we Jews were given the Torah. We were shown spirituality. We were shown godliness. And God told us for the rest of your existence, you're going to be different from everyone else because you're going to try to tell the world that there's more to the world than physicality. There's more than power, fame, money, beauty. Those things seem so important, and they are important, right? We all want to make money and be able to pay our bills. We all want to feel beautiful. Fame and power, those are nice, right? But we Jews had a message of like, you have depth. There's depth to life. Look beyond the surface. The entire Torah is about physicality, right? Like sacrifices and money and monetary issues. The mitzvos are all physical, right? Like marriage, the laws around sexuality, it's all so physical. So you'd say, well, no, we are a physical people. No, that's what God is saying. Imbue spirituality. You have to see God and spirituality, divinity, godliness beyond everything physical. All the mitzvos, the commandments are physical, but that's because Hashem is saying, I'm beneath all of that. There's more to life than the physical. There's more, there's something called, there's soulfulness. You have a soul. You're not, one of the tenets, the foundations of Judaism is, you're not just a body, you have a soul. Treat yourself like a soul, right? We don't go around sleeping. Men and women, we don't sleep around for 10 years before we get married. You have a soul. Sexuality, the most physical thing in this world, is very much connected to your soul. It's a synthesis of body and soul. That's Judaism, which is why we've always been so different than everyone. So now, going back to this, when I hear that these Jewish women are telling Forbes magazine, we're reconstructing our bodies because Judaism believes in beauty, they're getting it wrong. They're getting it wrong. Judaism does believe in beauty, but a different kind of beauty. A beauty with depth. The way I described it today on Instagram is cosmetic secular beauty is flat. It is not complex. It is cold. It's not alive. It's dead. There's a certain way women have to look. There's a small nose. They have these standards of beauty. Small nose, big cheekbones, big lips, big boobs, small stomach, flat stomach, bigger hips, smaller legs. It could be measured. Secular beauty is measurable. It's measurable. There are dimensions, there are numbers. And women line up to conform to this. This is the opposite of Jewish beauty. How can from Jewish Orthodox women say that it's the same thing? I don't know. Jewish beauty is a synthesis of body and soul. Jewish beauty, all the imahos, all the matriarchs were described as beautiful, okay? They were. But it was a synthesis of who they were as women, which is why we have these stories about how they behaved. Sarah was a strong woman. Esther was beautiful, but she was a brave, courageous woman. Her soul shone, is that a word? Shone, I think, through her features. It was her physical beauty and her soul coming together. You can't measure beauty in Judaism. There's no dimensions for it. It's the physical and the spiritual coming together. Beauty is living and breathing in a Jewish woman. Jewish beauty is alive. You express yourself. There's a character beneath that body. Like we were taught at Sinai, you Jews will be different forever because you saw the soul. You saw soul. You saw the soul of all souls. You saw God. You heard God. We Jews have lived and died for this message, that there's more to life than the physical. Jewish beauty and secular beauty are complete opposites. We have lived and died for these messages that there's more to life than what you can feel, what you can see. There's something you can sense. Cosmetic beauty, plastic surgery beauty is not a Jewish thing. It is a secular idea. It is a Hellenistic idea. Let's go back to the Jews in Judea for a minute. I forgot to finish that thought. The Greeks and the Romans were obsessed with physical perfection. Obsessed with physical perfection. They were. It was one of their values. We Jews said, we don't want it in our land. Get it out. We don't just not want you in our land. We don't want your obsession with beauty in our culture. It's at odds with our faith. It's at odds with the things we value. It's at odds with our religion, with our most deeply held beliefs. Get it out. The same with the Romans. They were obsessed with the physical. It's why they had gymnasiums and men exercising naked and these people in coliseums all like drowned in oil, fighting each other. And we said, we're a spiritual people. We're not a physical people. We're both, but we're primarily spiritual. Just to finish off this idea of Jewish beauty, because that's what this is called. This podcast is called. Jewish beauty, again, cannot be measured. It's not something that's dimensional. It's complex. Jewish beauty is alive. It changes. It's pulsating. It exists. It's alive. It's breathing. It's living. It's pulsating. Which is why, a woman, when she moves her face, this is a Jewish concept that it's the body and the soul working together to bring about beauty. We don't believe in just the outside. We don't believe in that. Not just in terms of beauty or women. We don't believe in it in anything. There's no such thing in Judaism, just the outside. The outside always has an inner existence, an inner life force, always. Cosmetic procedures, I'm not saying there's never a time for it. Obviously, there are times where cosmetic procedures are okay, and you talk to your rabbi, your mentor, whoever, and I'm not saying there's never a time for it, but the ultimate, at the core of cosmetic procedure, cosmetic beauty, plastic surgery, cosmetic procedures, which is coming into the Jewish community at alarming rates, at the core of it is that there's a certain type, there's only one way to be beautiful. You need to have your face all this way, your body that way, and that's why after a woman has her face done, she can't really move it. Her soul is not shining through her face anymore. It's just the outside. It's just the physical. It's just the way you look. You now have the right dimensions, guys. Your nose is the right size. Your face doesn't move anymore because that's the only way for women to be beautiful. Jewish beauty is completely different. It's a combination of who you are as a soul expressing itself through your physical beauty. It's different. It can't be measured. It's not flat. It's round. It's not dead. It's alive. It's not frozen and cold. Jewish beauty is alive and warm. You can move your face because there's a life beneath that face. And if we can just get back to our Jewishness, this is like so important to not just have, again, I said this is bigger than beauty, to not just have Jewish pride. We love Israel, and I'm wearing a Chai necklace. I'm wearing a Star of David necklace. But to get back to our roots of who we actually are, it's so important. Like, who are we? We come from King David. Who is King? What did he stand for? Yeah. So that's it for today. I will see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.